Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, in my opinion, is a pretty good one. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do. And yeah, let's jump into today's story time. So today's story time takes place when I was living in LA. It was 2017. It was a really good time of my life at the time. Nothing was really going wrong, which was rare. Usually something, some way or another, would happen and come mess my day up. But yeah, around this time, everything was going great. I really thought nothing could go wrong. And yeah, then something happened. Okay, so today's story time takes place, like I said, in 2017. It was the summer of 2017. It was July, and I was renting this house with a few good friends of mine out in LA, and it was a lot of fun. And this house was located on top of one of the Hollywood Hills. It was a really beautiful house, and I was renting it for a pretty short period of time. We were only going to be there for a couple more weeks. So yeah, I was trying to enjoy it as much as I could while I was there. And on this day, one of my friends was like, yo, can I invite some people over? Now, my friend would usually invite over pretty trustworthy, good people, so I was like, yeah, for sure, invite whoever you want over, because I trusted his judgment and character. He would usually invite somebody over that was usually, like, pretty cool, and he invites these two people over. Let's just call one of them Zach, okay? Zach was a little bit on the crazy side. Like, I could immediately tell off of meeting him that he was very energetic, just very hyper, just all about partying and being as crazy as he can and just being entertaining, basically. So it wasn't a bad thing. It's not like I looked at that and was like, oh no, like this is a problem. He was still really cool. But yeah, he was just on the hyper side. So yeah, this all starts off as a normal night. Me, my friends, and these two people that my friend invited over, we're all just hanging out. And Zach's like, yo, I'm starving. You guys want to go get food? And none of my friends were really hungry, but I was. And I was like, yeah, I am too. He goes, bet, let's go together. And I'm like, all right, for sure. So me and Zach leave the house. We get into his car, and he had a silver BMW. Now, I'm not sure what year the BMW was or how new or old it was, but all I know is that it went pretty fast. When we got on the road, he kind of started to speed, and I could tell right off the bat that this car could go pretty fast. And it was kind of scaring me, because you put someone who's really hyper behind the wheel and likes to like talk really fast and move really fast, that can sometimes lead to somebody wanting to drive really fast and speed. And it's one thing if someone's going like 5 over the speed limit, but he was going like 20 to 30 over, and these are really windy roads down the Hollywood Hills, so I was kind of scared. I'm like, yo, if he takes one wrong turn or something happens and he has to slam on his brakes, we could very well slide off this hill and just roll like 800 feet down to the ground. Like, you know, I don't want to do that. So I tell him, I'm like, yo, can you slow down a little bit? He's like, bro, like, why are you being such a pussy? Like, you'll be fine. Like, don't worry, we're good. I know how to drive. I'm like, I'm not saying you don't know how to drive, bro. I'm just saying, like, you're going a little fast for these windy roads. And he's like, all right, man, I'm just messing with you. Like, I'll slow down. I'm like, all right, cool. So he slows down a little bit, which was nice, but he was still going a little bit fast for these roads. And we come around this one turn, and it starts going downhill. It's like kind of the final stretch before you get to the bottom of the hill. And it's a pretty steep drop. And he starts flying down this hill. He starts speeding down this hill so quick, like very, very, very fast. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, bro, I love this hill. It's so awesome. He starts speeding up even more. And I'm like, yo, like there's a turn up here. You have to take the turn. And he starts slamming on his brakes. And he goes to take the turn. And there's another car coming around the other side. So he has to go around the car while he's still slowing down. And he starts to lose control of the car. And we start spinning out on this hill, just completely losing control. And that's when I knew. I'm like, yo, I'm dead. I'm 110% dead. Like, this road was so narrow and we were spinning out of control and there's no fence whatsoever to protect us from falling. So while we're spinning out, like, just all these moments start flashing by in my head of like, damn it, like, I wish I never did this. I wish I never left the house with this dude. I wish I lived my life more. Like, I really thought that I was gone. Like, I straight up thought that we were about to spin off this hill and start barrel rolling down the hill, like, just to our doom. And of course, we keep spinning out and finally we stop and the tires, the two back tires, go over the hill. Like, right as we stopped, the tires went over the hill. So the backside of our car, like the tires and the trunk area, was all hanging over the hill, just right by that pit of doom over the mountain. And then the other side of the car was on the road still, and there was enough weight in the front and enough of the car over to keep the car from tipping. So we just got so lucky. Like, we barely made it out of that okay. So after we take like a 5-second breather and think about what just happened and, you know, we make sure that we're good, I'm like, yo, why would you drive like that? I was trying to warn you that you shouldn't drive like that because of this. And he was like, dude, I always do that. Like, I thought I had it. I just wanted to like impress you with my driving. And I'm like, dude, just don't drive like that and you'll be fine. So yeah, as we're talking, we get out of the car pretty much immediately because we didn't want to sit in that car because the backside was over the edge of this mountain. And we get on the road and we call for help, and a tow truck had to come and help get our car back over the hill. And yeah, overall, moral of the story is don't drive like he did. Ever. Like, that could have ended so much worse than it did. We came so close to having an accident and falling off a hill where, based on the height of that mountain and like rolling down it, there probably would have been a very bad outcome for both of us. So yeah, after the car was back on the road, we went to that restaurant. He drove super safe. We got our food. We drove back. We told all of our friends the story. And yeah, it was just crazy. But in the end, me and this dude were fine. The people that were on the opposite side coming towards us, we had to swerve around, were fine. They pulled over actually and checked on us after we spun out. They were all good. Everybody was fine. No one got hurt, and that's what matters. But yeah, guys, drive safe out there. Be safe. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story time. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time and found it crazy. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. Like what's up? They leave me out for the dead, and now they know they're fucked. All my texts are unread, that's how I know she's done. My life changing.